Hey YouTube! As you can see, I've recently broken out of the Mario Kart dimension. Welcome to Fire Emblem Awakening, a game I've played a lot and one that'll always have a special place in my heart. This is the first of a 5-part series where I'm going to aim to optimize Awakening's early game on Lunatic difficulty without using the water trick or soloing with Frederick. Some people think that grinding Robin for 30 turns in the prologue is the easiest way to set them up to snowball the rest of the game. But I'm going to show that not only do they not need to do that to become the best unit in your army, but you can bring them online while training multiple other early shepherds. Along the way, I'll talk about different early joiners' roles on a team, good ways to train them, and useful information about Awakening's mechanics and metagame. There's a lot to explore about the main campaign in this game, since most online discussion is still focused on either the post-game or hard mode. My goal with this project is to produce a group of videos that can help newer players tackle Awakening's harder modes for the first time, and can start a discussion about the game's meta among the community. Awakening's known for the fact that there are a ton of different ways to play this game, so before we get started, let's lay out some ground rules so we're all on the same page. First, the series is going to cover the first 5 maps of the game, the prologue and the first 4 proper chapters. This is generally considered to be the hardest part of the game, because your unit choices and access to resources are extremely limited, and extra ways of powering up your units like tonics, forges, support bonuses, and DLC, if you're into that, are either very scarce or entirely unavailable. Once a player beats Chapter 4, I think they have the abilities and access to the materials they need to clear the game one way or another. Like I mentioned, we're going to play on Lunatic difficulty. Lunatic Plus has a lot more moving parts to account for, it's something I personally have less experience with, and it's best experienced after Lunatic mode anyway, so it's outside the scope of this project. Next up, no grinding. Normally, this would mean no skirmishes or DLC maps, but since those are unavailable this early, it mainly means no water trick. If you're not familiar, the water trick is a tactic where you use the Tactician and Lord class's ability to walk on water to repeatedly attack enemies in the prologue from outside their range, and you get several extra levels on Robin and Chrom in the process. Not only is that very slow, but it's also unreliable, since Robin will face crit chances from the mages. I want to show that this strategy is totally unnecessary, not just for smoothly clearing the early game, but also for getting Robin up and running. And finally, Renown Awards unlock after completing Chapter 3, but we won't be using them. This is so I can show off a Chapter 4 strategy that will work no matter how loose or how restrictive your personal Awakening rule set might be. Reliability is the focus here, so I'm not going to use any strategies that require dodges or dual strikes. This is not an LTC, but I'll shoot for relatively low turn counts within these restrictions, just for fun and out of respect for your time. Also, I'll be playing with a mod that sets all my unit stats to correspond with their average growths for their level. This is mostly for demonstration purposes to show the expected capabilities of each shepherd, but in the rare cases a specific stat is absolutely required to increase for a move to work, I'll point it out. With housekeeping out of the way, let's create our avatar. I'm using male Robin, but both genders' performance on these maps is identical, so it's up to preference and your long-term goals. I'm setting my asset to speed and my flaw to resistance. A lot of people advocate for plus defense Robin to improve their durability, both now and in their long-term combat roles like Sorcerer, but I think that's a pitfall. With a speed asset, Robin can begin doubling enemies as early as Chapter 1, and has an easier time hitting speed benchmarks all game long. That creates a virtuous cycle. It lets Robin safely see more combat to level even faster, and frees up speed pair-ups like Sumia or Chrom to either help other units or focus on self-improvement. Minus resistance here is to preserve our luck stat. With a luck flaw, Robin is marginally less accurate on every attack, and also faces non-zero crit chances against a lot of enemies in the first few maps. Only 2 maps in this series actually have mages, and lower resistance doesn't have any appreciable effects on Robin's combat abilities down the line. Plus, if you want to use Arms Thrift later, you'll really appreciate the money you'll save by not dumping luck. I think I've rambled long enough, so let's get into the prologue. This is a fairly straightforward chapter. It's a mostly open box with 2 packs of enemies, a spread out group in the starting area that all aggro on turn 1, and the boss's squad in the north that only aggro when you get into range of one of their members. My immediate goal is to thin out the first group with Frederick on turn 1, so I can safely feed the rest of the experience to Robin and Chrom. Fred could use Chrom's pair up here, but if he does that, Robin will gain less XP on enemy phase since Veteran won't be active. Chrom unequips the falchion to prevent any variance from his dual strikes, which is going to be critical for this whole series. People rag on this game's combat for being really variable, and it definitely can be, but unequipped strats can mitigate that, especially in the early game where your crit chances are low or non-existent. This guy can attack from either Robin's left or above him, but it doesn't change anything for us. I'm going to do a 3-step shuffle to finish this guy off. First is for Robin to unequip, so Chrom can ship with the falchion. Then, Lissa pulls Robin. And her magic bonus lets Robin exactly hit the benchmark to kill, even without a magic asset. Fred's still available, so he pulls Lissa and she gets in a staff round. Robin's gonna pull Fred here and have him unequip his lance, then kill this barbarian. Lissa heals Chrom, then he pairs into her to hide from the mage. In this game, the AI prioritizes doing the most damage over avoiding counterattacks, so Robin gets to fight the mage on enemy phase.
Really? Yeah. Listen. Yeah. Well.
You can do it!
Killing this mage is another 1-2 from Chrom and Robin. I use the falchion here because even if it misses, Fred can re-equip before Robin's attack to try for a dual strike, but if the rapier crits, Chrom will steal my XP. With the first group of enemies down, I just use this turn to regroup and reposition before engaging the boss's squad. I don't pick up the Sparkle Tile here, just because the rewards are random and I want to show reliable strategies that don't require or benefit from the bonuses they give, but you can just as easily pick this one up as long as everyone is in position by 2 turns from now. Fred has enough HP and defense to take a hit from everyone in the northern squad, but only if he's at full HP. Lissa gets him there and also hands Chrom off to him. Chrom's luck and dual support bonuses mitigate what would have been the biggest point of failure in this strategy. He removes Fred's 3% chance to be crit by the Elthlander Mage, improves his hit rates on the Barbarians by 11% listed, and almost guarantees his hits against the Myrmidons. Fred can absolutely do this move unassisted, but Chrom's pair-up more than halves his already low chance of failure.
None shall harm you.
Chrom chugs a vulnerary, and Lissa heals him so he'll have enough HP to fight the last mage in a couple turns. She and Robin also do some transfer shenanigans to get Fred back onto the field, but he doesn't need to be healed since he's done doing combat today.
As one.
Chrom and Robin can easily take out these barbarians and build some support while they're at it.
Go get him!
Believe.
Fred pulls Lissa from the north so she can get another heal in. From this position, she'll also be able to gain a tiny bit of support with Chrom next player phase. Robin pulls Fred and unequips him to avoid accidentally scoring a kill that I want to save for Chrom.
Stay focused.
Lissa gets Robin in shape for the boss fight. As we get ready to engage the boss, I want to take a second to talk about our setup here. Chrom can fight the boss instead of Robin, but he faces a significant crit chance. Because Robin attacks from 2 range though, he can be supported by all 3 other units without putting any of them in danger, which gives him plus 10 dodge and totally negates the possibility of a
I've
crit.
got your back.
Crit blocking like this is a tactic that's really important in Awakening, especially in the early game, so we're going to be using it a lot during this run. Robin's using Fred's pair up instead of Chrom's here for 2 reasons. 1, it gives him a higher chance to get hit, which lets Lissa get more heal casts in. And 2, if he dodges, Fred gives him enough defense to safely sneak in an extra attack on player phase for a little more XP. Overall though, this boss is just a cycle of healing and attacking however it's safe to, until Robin can get the kill with a weapon of your choice.
It's all right.
And that's the first map in the bag. This is a very reliable strategy where Robin gains 3 levels without any grinding, Lissa gains 1, and Chrom gets very close to level 2. If you're playing Vanilla Awakening, that means you can rig his first level in Chapter 1 if you want to. The only big point of failure here is a very low chance that Chrom or Robin are crit by one of the mages, but 3 of those 4 cases require the mages to roll focus first to have any crit chance at all. Other than that, every kill Robin gets except the first Barbarian and the first Mage can either use Thunder or the Bronze Sword depending on which weapon rank you want to build. I like the way that's balanced. The sword is 100% accurate right now, but most Robins will benefit more from the Tome rank later on. Hopefully you enjoyed this clear and stick around for the rest of the series. If you did, think about dropping a like to help me out, or subscribing to be notified when the next part comes out. I'll try to get it out in the next week or so, but work can be hectic, so I won't make any hard promises. Regardless, hopefully I'll see you there as we fend off Risen from the future in Chapter 1. Thanks for watching.